Kailan pwedeng kumain ng mas marami sa ating tipikal na pangangailangan? There are 5 scenarios kung kailan kayo pwedeng kumain. That is something that we will answer today sa ating Tanungan Thursday episode. Hello po and magandang tanghali sa lahat. Thank you so much for always tuning in and watching our LCF Lifestyle Talk with yours truly, Dr. Josephine Grace Rohotan. And today nga, pag-uusapan natin yung 5 iba't ibang scenarios o yung mga conditions na kung kailan pwedeng kumain ng mas marami. Generally, yung pangangailangan nating pagkain is based on our height, is based on our weight, on our physical activity. Yun yung BMR, basal metabolic rate. And usually, ito ay kinocompute based on age and at the same time, based on your current height. So, generally, for example, for an average adult, it's just 30 kilocalorie per kilogram. So if ikaw ay isang 50 kilogram na babae times 30. So that is just 1,500 kilocalories in a day. However, merong mga scenarios na dapat mas marami yung kakainin natin more than our typical BMR based on our weight. And that one is something na kailangan nating malaman so that we will know when to eat more and when to eat less. Generally, when to eat less is actually better when it comes to longevity. Kapag tayo ay kumakain ng mas maliit sa ating general na dictated na pangangailangan, it is linked to longer life and healthier na pangangatawan. Yun yung advantages ng intermittent fasting and also yung pagkakaroon ng benefits for those who are in low-calorie diet. Yun din yung benefit nun. However, again, low-calorie diet is not sustainable. It will ruin your metabolism and later on, baka mag-lead kayo into nutritional deficiency. However, if you do intermittent fasting, that is by eating less frequently in a day, but pwedeng-pwede na makukuha nyo pa rin yung lahat ng pangangailangan ninyong vitamins, minerals, all the nutrients na inyong kailangan sa pang-araw-araw in just a shorter amount or period of time. So, now to start, kailan pwedeng kumain ng mas marami? Number 1 would be childhood or yung kabataan. From birth until maybe teens, pwedeng kumain more than what their body based on weight ang kanilang kailangan kainin. An average na 7-year-old child, actually, yung kanyang kailangang pagkain based on calories is actually just equal to that of an average na 60 kilogram na adult na. Dahil kailangan pa nila ng marami pang sustansya para sila ay lumaki. Now, when it comes to nutrition, hindi lang ito basta sa calories lang. We are also looking into the amount of nutrients talaga. Kasi yung calories, it's just the glucose or just the energy equivalent non. Energy equivalent, it can be in the glucose kung kayo ay high carber, or it can also be from fats or ketones if kayo naman ay low carber. But hindi lang po puro fats and carbohydrates yung ibig natin sabihin dito. Kailangan, especially for children who are still growing, importante, we have to give them the essential nutrients na kailangan nila sa kanilang paglaki. Number 1 would be proteins. Proteins rich in amino acids. Yung amino acids natin, merong essential and non-essential amino acids. And of course, the vitamins and minerals that goes along with many of our foods. So, check out our JGC Rojo food list para sa ating mga safe na pagkain that you can serve to your kids para sila ay lumaki ng healthy and also yung kanilang growth will be maximum, not just in the height, but most importantly sa kanilang internal organs, especially their growing brain. Their brain is the most important thing na kailangan nating palakihin. So childhood, hindi nyo kailangang isipin na mag-fasting sila or kontian yung kanilang pagkain. But as parents, your primary goal is to provide food whenever they are hungry. Hindi nyo rin sila kailangan piliting kumain. They are usually appetite corrected. Kakain lang sila kung kailan sila may appetite. But you have to be very cautious na the moment na sila ay gutom, you will give them low-carb, nutritious na mga pagkain at hindi puro candy lamang, mga biskwit, or puro kanin lamang. Otherwise, they will become dependent to all of these sugar high at hindi na sila sila kakain ng totoong pagkain in the form of meat, eggs, seafoods, and even some vegetables. Kung gusto nyo i-incorporate yon sa kanilang diet, so you can just look at JGC Rojo Food List and stick to the safe list for better growth of your children. So, number two scenario, kung nakailangan pwede tayong kumain ng mas marami would be pregnancy. So that is still related to growth because a mother will not just be eating for her own but will be eating for her growing child. And for this naman, hindi rin kailangan sobra-sobra. Kakaunti lang. Hindi rin ito kailangan gawing excuse for you to overeat. For those who are pregnant, you can just eat whenever you are hungry. But when you are not hungry, hindi rin kailangan gawing excuse ito na kumain lang kayo ng kumain. And of course, always choose the nutrient-dense food. And the nutrient-dense foods, ibig sabihin ng nutrient-dense food, sa same amount of, say for example, ng calories na nakukuha natin but with more nutrients. Say for example, yung isang cup ng rice, meron siyang around 200 na kilocalories of energy. Pero yung equivalent niyan sa tatlong egg ay ganun din. 200 kilocalories then of energy, pero it's loaded with vitamins and minerals. So yes, okay lang and safe na safe ang low carb when it comes to pregnancy. And number three scenario would be after pregnancy, breastfeeding. Because when you are breastfeeding, you are providing milk, the primary nutrition for the growing child, especially for the first 6 months. So all the more you need to incorporate food that are rich in iron, that are rich in calcium, and of course, proteins and fats. We have experienced sa mga low-carbers na mommies na iba yung kanilang breast milk quality when they are in low carb as compared to when they are in high carb. And yes, IF, intermittent fasting, as little as 12 hours can also be done. But most important thing when it comes to breastfeeding, you have to make sure na adequate yung inyong fluid intake to ensure na yung inyong breast milk production is just going to be enough for your kids. Even twins, kayang-kaya yan ng breastfeeding mommy na naka-low carb. And hi to my sister-in-laws, Mabi and Angel, who were very successful when it comes to their breastfeeding journey. And of course, my sister Kat and Sharen na pregnant ngayon with my twin na nephew and niece. So those are the scenarios, first three ones. So childhood, pregnancy, breastfeeding, and number four, kapag ang tao ay kaka-recover lang from illness, especially major illness. So the key word here is recovery. Bakit recovery? Because when a person is still sick, nasa ongoing illness pa, you will actually notice na wala silang ganang kumain. That is the body telling them to focus first on healing. So that time, contrary to what we usually do, na kapag bibisita tayo sa may sakit sa hospital, we would bring them lots of foods, usually high carb pa, fast foods, lots of fruits na mataas sa fructose, and that might not be the best for someone who is still sick. Okay? Because yung katawan natin, kailangan muna, mostly, majority ng mga sakit, kailangan muna ng break from sugar load. So we have to lower our sugar and insulin load habang tayo ay may sakit pa. However, the moment that we are already recovering, makikita nyo yung return of appetite, yung return ng gana is actually one of the most important na long-known sign that the person is recovering kapag siya ay naghahanap na. Famous soup, no? Chicken soup. Chicken soup for the soul. Meron nga yan. But the fact that people who are recovering from illness will now start to ask for food, that is a sign of healing, of recovery. And kung gusto nyong mapagpatuloy at magpapaganda yung inyong recovery, you might want to still stick to our safe list para mas maging maganda yung kanilang pag-recover. And for those na hindi pa alam kung paano mag-start ng low carb, kung ano yung mga pagkain that generally can be under our safe list, I invite you to join our Facebook group, Life Without Rice, and of course, Low Carb Feasting and Fasting Community sa mga inspirations for you to do low carb the best possible way for healing. So lastly, after recovery from illness, the fifth scenario na kung kailan tayo pwedeng kumain ng mas marami would be in times of muscle bulking. So for those na medyo payat na or gustong increase ng kanilang timbang, but the healthy way using muscle bulking, pag-increase ng kanilang muscle mass and not just increasing in the body fats, then you can increase your food intake, specifically your proteins and your fats. Why proteins and fats? Because if you will just increase only your protein intake, ay baka hindi kayo magkaroon ng fat burning, and maybe part of those proteins that you are eating might just be used into glucose production. Baka maging stagnant pa rin kayo on glucose metabolism. But when you pair up high quality, good quality of protein intake, and of course, tamang amount ng fat intake for your energy, the fat that you will eat will be your source of energy, and the protein that you will eat will be used for muscle bulking and repair. And the key component of muscle bulking ay hindi lang sa pagkain ng marami, but also with physical activity. Kasi kung puro lang kayo kain ng walang physical activity, ay pwede kayong lumobo. Sobrang proteins can still lead into some increase in glucose production, and too much glucose na hindi nagagamit can still be used as triglycerides and can still build up in your body, making you increased in weight the unhealthy way, which is through fats. That's why when it comes to muscle bulking, hindi lang puro proteins, it should be a balance of proteins and healthy fats. So I think that's it for our today's Tanungan Thursday. Kung kailan pwedeng kumain ng mas marami? Number 1 would be childhood, mga kabataan, mga batang lumalaki pa, pregnancy, breastfeeding or lactation, recovery from illness, and lastly, muscle bulking. And I invite you all this coming, kasi I think close na yung ating December 4 na get together, Christmas get together, face to face here in our LCF Center in Ortigas. And for those na miss yung ating registration for that, I invite you on December 6. It's a 2-hour diabetes type 2 intensive course, live webinar with replay po yan. For those na gustong sumali, especially shout out sa ating mga 14-day masterclass enrollees, because you will have a 75% discount than the regular rate. So maraming salamat. Check out jgrtanmd.com for details. And of course, message lang yung admins natin for questions. And for those who wish to visit LCF Center for coaching, you can send this message as well. So maraming salamat, and hi to all na mga taga Davao and Mindanao. I hope to see you all again, especially yung mga nakamit natin last year. Hope to see you again, and bring your friends on December 22, 2022. And as always, stick to the safe list para healthy tayo parate. And for those who wish to be guided, meron tayong LCF Masterclass by yours truly to help you with your journey the best and the right way. So maraming salamat, everybody. I'll see you again next time. And of course, as always, remember to stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can see more contents in our YouTube and Facebook channels at Dr. Josephine Grace Rojo and Dr. Josephine Grace Rojo Tan, respectively. For those who wish to be guided, we have an ongoing structured learning program where we will teach you how to adapt a low-carb and fasting lifestyle for healing specific modern-day lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cancer, fatty liver, PCOS, GERD, and many more. You can send an email to our admins or send a DM in our inbox. I hope to see you all there. Thank you so much. Stay low-carb, stay safe. Bye!